It would have been so much easier at the Faber's summer party if I'd taken a dog. Nothing too big, a mongrel I think, good with strangers. I bet we wouldn't have got past the men in dinner jackets checking invitations on the gates at Montague Street before they'd kneeled to ruffle his head and ask, "What's your name?" with that habit people have of addressing babies and dogs. The dog would offer his paw and say, "Barker, George Barker," just as we'd discussed on the train to London over the packet of sandwiches we'd shared. He'd look at me, panting in his wiry hair, as the men straightened up, one doing that wink-click thing country folk do at horses, and the other brushing a few stray hairs from his trouser leg, nodding at us in turn and saying, "Enjoy the party, Tom, George." We wouldn't even get as far as the tables of drinks, the lemon fizz and tall glasses of Pimm's, before a woman I vaguely recognised from a history programme exclaimed loudly in her American accent, "Oh, what a lovely dog, and what might your name be?" I'd be able to tell he wants to say it might be George Barker, but he'd just say George Barker and give her his paw. "How funny," she'd say, waving over her friend in a linen trouser suit. And that would be that. My sparkling chatter interrupted only by George returning with the snotty ball I'd throw for him. And by the end, my head would be chock full of names as I riffled a deck of business cards and looked out over the lawn for anyone I'd missed, only to see George Barker squirming on his back in the marquee, having his belly scratched by a famous poet and grinning that great scruffy grin of his. All through those weeks off school, our fathers watched us. Our mothers took extra hours in part-time jobs. And the news was men in denim thumping coaches, police playing British bulldog or riding horses, while Mr. Oxby lined up rollies in a tin, pinched bitter shreds of Virginia from his tongue, and taught us kids exactly what was what, whose parents were digging deep and whose were not. Thank you.